Alright, I thought I'd just do a quick little episode on news today. We might as well just get straight into it. It should be a fairly quick one. Basically, there's two types of analysis you can do. Technical analysis, which is where you go on the charts, you mark stuff out, what you've been learning, and then fundamental analysis, which is pretty much just news. So with news, you have to be really careful because they can impact the market quite a lot, especially these ones listed here. It's mainly these bottom three that have been quite prolific. The end and this month. So yeah, you've just got to watch out for news and don't trade news as well because that's just gambling. So I will go into that a little bit later. So how you look at the news is you go on this little website here called Forex Factory, and when you go on it, it should come up with this. So first thing I want you to do is I want you to click this week. So here you see, and all of these are just the times that they're going to happen in your local time, the date it's going to happen on, and what pair it affects. So yeah, and the colour of this folder is like the impact of the news. So if it's yellow, it's not really high impact. If it's red, it's very high impact, so red is the one you have to watch out for. And if it's orange, it's kind of like medium. But I only really focus on red, so what I'm going to want you to do is go and filter here in the top corner. You can keep orange on if you want, but I personally don't. And then your currencies. To stop it being so cluttered, you take off the currencies that you're not going to trade. So I only trade NQ, so USD is the only news I'm bothered about, news affecting the US dollar. So I'm going to untick all these, apply filter, and there you go. You can see this week is ridiculously light for news compared to last week or next week. I'm going to Mexico next week, so that should be fun. Yeah, so we'll go over the types of news a little bit, but essentially when it is a news day, so at the start every Sunday I come onto Forex Factory when I do my weekly outlooks, and I look at this screen and I check what news is for the week, because you have to know, because if you don't know, then you're probably going to get fucked. And I cannot stress this enough, do not gamble news. I know it might be tempting at the start to just fucking full part CPI, but just don't do it. It's not going to get you anywhere. I mean, we've all done it, but just please don't do it. It's not going to get you anywhere. It's not going to help you. It's just enforcing that gambling mindset, and if anything, it's going to set you back further. That's what it did for me anyway. But it's very important that you always know when news is. So trading news, I actually love when there is a lot of news, because when it's a news day, especially a red folder day, I'd write this down, you do not want to trade before news at all. So when it's a red folder day, say you've got CPI at 130, you do not want to trade before 130. I only do it if it's really, say, unemployment claims, this red folder, but I don't really care about that. It's not massive impact on what I've seen. But obviously it could be massive, and then if I get stopped, it's my fault. But there's certain ones that are a lot more high impact than others. For example, CPI, that's extremely high impact. So not really bothered about any of them, but still, when you're starting, do not trade before any red folder news. That's my general rule. NFP, that's extremely makes the market extremely volatile. CPI again. Where's Powell at? Oh, right. So anything with the FOMC as well. Just well, if you're a beginner, I wouldn't trade it because the market can be extremely weird and news based. So FOMC day, if you see a lot of day like this, when you're starting off, I wouldn't recommend trading. I'd just have a day off, go for a fucking walk or something because there's no point. Right, let me. Go back 2 years. I'm sure Powell spoke this month. Oh yeah, there we go. Right. So this man here, Fed Chair Powell, when you see this, you do not trade at all. When you see Fed Chair Powell speaks, you do not trade at all because the market can literally, every time he speaks a word, it can just do mad shit. You'll get stopped out, you lose all your money, so it's just not worth it. So on this Tuesday, you just don't trade when Powell's speaking. I mean, I would trade after he's finished speaking. I think I did. I think I took a win on this day. But when you're starting off, I wouldn't, because you need to recognise like the conditions. So any red folder news, you wait until after the news has happened to trade, always. And then on days where like Powell speaks, it's different because on this day, what he was doing wasn't that important. But most of the time when he speaks, it's going to fuck the market up for the entire day. So when you're a beginner, I wouldn't recommend trading at all when Powell's talking. Just take a day off, save your capital. A break-even day is still a winning day. But so remember, always trade after the news because the conditions usually quite good after news, and before news it's going to be probably quite choppy and the market's just going to range. So for example, if you've got news like this in New York session, London session's probably going to be pretty slow. So yeah, the types you want to look out for, definitely FOMC. Anytime Powell speaks, CPI, NFP, anytime Trump talks or opens his mouth, because it just seems to send the market to go crazy. Anything around tariffs, which is more recent, and anything around wars. Sometimes news might happen and you might just get stopped out because Trump's just decided to tweet something. Or it might go in your favour, but you just got to be aware of news. You've got to. I use Forex Factory every Sunday and then every day of the week just to make sure I know exactly what time the news is on the day. So today's Monday. I see I have nothing on, so I can trade because there's not a lot of news. It's in my trading plan that if there's high impact news for the rest of the week, like this week, I wouldn't trade the Monday because the Monday would be awful price action. But say this week, I can trade the Monday. But don't worry about that too much yet. But just know if there is a lot of news later on in the week, don't trade the Monday. And these are the types of news you need to particularly look out for. But any type of red folder you should look out for and wait until after the news is finished. So, yeah, I'll see you later. Any questions? Drop me a message. Bye.